Good afternoon, Africa Tech Week. My name is Peter Walsh, and I'm excited and privileged to be able to present on exploring IoT from an enterprise perspective today. I'd like to be encouraging and tell you that the processes out there supporting IoT use cases are getting easier for the enterprise. However, from the enterprise to the IoT vendors, through to the mobile operators themselves, you will struggle to find someone that will not admit that this is far from being the case. IoT has, for all intents and purposes, under-delivered on those predictions made in the past few years. Predictions made in 2016 across McKinsey and IDC about billions of IoT devices in Africa, and the world has fallen flat. IoT adoption is off to a slow start. And this is because it's far harder and more complex than many people had imagined. And the MNOs themselves have struggled to find ways to scale IoT. The slide is predicting 1.1 billion devices by 2023. Time will tell if that prediction is out again. This slide from Statista highlights the drivers of global spending as of 2019. And for me, it's interesting to see that compelling business need does not even feature in the top 5 drivers. In fact, it sits in position 7. The top 5 drivers are improved security, data analytic capability, improved daily operational efficiencies, which is a really important one to our client base, making us, the enterprise, more competitive, improved reliability and uptime, and responding faster to customer needs, all sit above the compelling business case scenario. So what do we see the enterprises asking for, and what are their needs, and what is driving their changing needs? So starting with global coverage, they're looking for seamless operation, compliance no matter where the device is, and no long-term lock-ins are all crucial and must-haves for the enterprise. They're looking for attractive commercials, obviously. It goes without saying that the enterprise is cost-conscious at this point in time and wants to see transparent rate sheets, pooled plans across the devices. And they're looking for new business models, such as dashboard or hardware as a service, along with the requisite support required through the tiered value chain. Simple operation. Enterprises are looking for a single point of integration, a single bill, and what we like to call a single pane of glass to eliminate the frustration of dealing with multiple MNOs, multiple vendors, and the added layers of complexities that comes with needing to deliver on a single solution in the business across multiple vendors. Centralized control. Managing devices is important. Understanding where those devices are located and the status of those devices. Using an API to restart the SIM cards or troubleshoot connectivity is something which the MNOs are not giving the enterprise and their vendors access to. Ultimately, the enterprise is looking for what we like to call a global uniform capability. And then lastly, but not least, mission critical. This comes down to availability, resiliency, and high performance networks and agentless security. This is what we've seen in the enterprise at this stage. Importantly, IoT has now become a global business, more so than ever before in the times we would have called in the industry machine-to-machine days, by the mobile network operators. You see manufacturers with multiple plants producing multiple products for multiple regions. They expect to have seamless operations on which to standardize their manufacturing processes. And those devices, we don't know where they're going to wake up. And our customers have clients all over the world. So the enterprises are looking to their vendors and hardware manufacturers to ensure that their solutions comply with local market regulations such as GDPR and POPI. Our customers are looking to standardize on processes, allowing them to be cost-effective in this hyper-competitive world we find ourselves in. Customers are looking to the solutions on offer to add to the user experience, and solutions should translate to efficiency, both operationally and cost-wise. Boosting device performance is very important, and that's done by managing battery life, using low latency and high-performance connectivity, which is typically achieved by using localized SIM cards and distributed packet gateways, all of which are must-haves in any IoT connectivity solution today. Roaming SIM cards. In the old days, machine-to-machine was typically done with roaming SIM cards. But roaming SIM cards route back to the mobile network operator's own packet gateway. And that's not going to deliver high-performance IoT. The very nature of the mobile network operator is that their solutions are inherently local as opposed to global. So, what business models are we seeing in the market? The business models can be split into three main groups. Firstly, massive IoT. So these are driven mostly by low power, wide area. These devices are your daily heartbeat or connect a few times a month. And this is where the vast majority of IoT use cases come from. They're typically low-cost devices, battery operated, and they consume tiny amounts of data. And we expect to see millions of devices out there needing to be managed. Examples thereof would be smart meters like water and electricity. Basically, the massive IoT is where the promise of the Internet of Everything sits. The second category is broadband IoT. This category should be any mobile network operator's dream category, as it compensates for the first group with a lower data volume, with a larger data volume and a higher ARPU in the broadband IoT space. However, it comes with challenges. It requires much lower latency and higher throughput, and solutions such as video streaming, for example, can't operate without this. And it goes without saying that the enterprise needs to look carefully at how they will manage these costs and overhead. Bill shock in the broadband IoT category would not be unfamiliar to the enterprise customers in this space. And then we have the last emerging category, which we like to call critical IoT. This is a key category driving 5G adoption because of how demanding it can be and the requisite availability, resilience, and reliability it needs in order to function well. So, if we dive down a little deeper into the mission-critical IoT use cases, we see industries as disparate as industrial, automotive, security, smart cities, and hospitals. An example, think about vehicle-to-vehicle communications, emergency responders for healthcare, security, and think about smart cities. These use cases are going to put a lot of pressure on network elements for the mobile network operators to manage. As an enterprise, a key component you want to avoid is operator lock-in, even if they're doing everything right. Assume for a moment that the vendor or manufacturer has helped you develop a clear IoT strategy. You've done the business case. You've put it in front of your fellow executives. You've identified the business need. You understand the resources and the changes in the organizational structure. And you've even done a successful proof of concept and put the budget together. After all this effort, do you want to be the project sponsor who needs to tell his colleagues or his fellow execs that they will need to manage multiple API integrations or set up non-standardized processes within the organization to address regional coverage, legislation, and commercial restrictions? So managing and maintaining a myriad of different carrier integrations is difficult, it's time-consuming, and often results in slow and rigid services. So the challenges that we see our enterprise customers facing is in the area of GDPR, the whole data privacy regulations that mandate how devices originated data remains in the country of origin, permanent roaming restrictions. Mobile devices are not allowed to roam in certain countries for more than 3 to 6 months. So after this period, the connection is terminated. Cyber threats. When you're relying on roaming or SIM profiles, there's no visibility as to the security layer or the measures taken by local carriers. And you end up compromising the devices using them. My pet hate is complex billing and invoicing. I've built my entire career over the last 20 years in fixing that problem. And then multiple integrations. To obtain local connectivity, the enterprise must integrate with carriers from different interfaces, different billing, and require dedicated resources and considerable effort to manage. And then limited visibility. You need a single pane of glass for radio tower signaling, SIM cards, devices, billing, location, and support. You can't be working with siloed support. And our MNOs, our mobile operators, are still structured to support mobile phones, whereas the nature of IoT devices dictates a different support approach. Online, 24/7, not a call center agent. You need an engineer, and you need a self-service platform that can scale and allow you to support millions of devices. So, over and above the obvious must-haves for the enterprise, like over-the-air IMSI injection, autonomous failover on a single SIM, multi-IMSI to single SIM, and large IMSI libraries. What should the enterprise be looking for in an IoT connectivity solution? Connectivity needs to be seamless, out of the box, and global. It needs to be cost-effective, transparent, and competitive pricing, and typically in a single currency. Our customers and vendors are looking for ease of operation, single point of integration, single invoice, with centralized control, managing and controlling devices from a central portal or via a single API integration is crucial. Security, you must be able to, as an enterprise, protect your device from cyber attacks, hacks, and malware. And obviously, you need high performance. Resilient, high performance, and low latency are must-have. Thank you for your time, Africa Tech Week. It's been an absolute privilege and pleasure to be presenting to you today. And I hope you have derived value. If any of this resonated with you and you wish to have further discussions, please contact me on my details as shared at the bottom of the screen. Have a great day further.